Hi guys, Miss Hallie here. Are you guys ready to draw and label a bar graph? We're going to do a bar graph anchor chart, okay? So you're going to need a few materials. You're going to need your pencil. You're going to need your handy dandy ruler because the key, one of the keys to a bar graph is nice straight lines, okay? You're also going to need a piece of paper or a spiral notebook. I'm going to use my spiral notebook here. I'm going to use my graph paper one because that's my favorite. And then later on, you're going to need some colors so you can color your bars. Okay, so first thing we're going to remember is that you can pause or stop at any time to catch up with me, or you can stop and go back in the video and watch again. Okay, so please remember that. Here we go. Are you ready? Okay, I'm ready here. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our X and our Y axis. But before we do that, we're going to name our anchor chart, parts of a bar graph. Okay, so I'm going to put that right here. Parts of a bar graph. Okay, parts of a bar graph, just so I remember. Okay, so I'm going to get my handy dandy ruler out here. And remember I said part of having a beautiful, wonderful, accurate bar graph is straight lines. Okay, so let's truly make them nice and straight. Okay, so there's my y-axis. Now I'm going on to my x-axis, and we're going to label these as soon as we fill out the whole bar graph. Now my bar graph is from a survey that I collected from students in one of my classes. I collected the information. I asked them a question, which was, what is your favorite color? And I ended up getting 35 student answers and all different types of colors, but I want to categorize those colors. So I decided to put them in categories of red, blue, green, yellow, and pink. Okay. I also know that the most popular color was yellow, and it had 9 students. So I know that my bar graph has to go all the way up at least to 9. Okay, so my scale over here needs to go up to 9. But we need to remember first that 0 is on the bottom. Always, always, always 0 is on the bottom, right here in the corner of your Y and X axis. Okay, so 0 here. Now, just like in the video, I think I'm going to go up, my scale is going to go up by 2s. Okay, so I'm going to be nice and even and accurate. So let's see. Okay, so I'm going to do 2, 4, 6, 8, 'and at the top, I'm going to put 10. Okay, so if you went back, you would notice my numbers are on the line. Okay, nice and evenly spread out. The scale goes up by 2s. Okay, this is the scale. All right, so now I need to write in my categories, which will go down here on the Y axis, I'm sorry, the X axis. Okay, so let's see, I know I had red and blue. I had green. I had green, I had yellow. And then I had pink. Okay, so these are the colors. So my categories are colors. So I'm gonna write my label here, which is colors. Now I'm gonna turn my paper around here. My scale represents the students. So that's another part of my label. Okay, that's my other part of labeling my graph. Starting to look like a bar graph now, guys. Okay, so now I know from my data that 8 students liked red. Okay, so 8 students liked red. I'm gonna take my ruler here, make sure I get straight lines. I know I need to go up to 8. 8 is right here. Okay, so 8 is right there. I'm gonna make sure it's nice and straight. All the way up to 8. Now remember another thing in the video, it told me it needs to be, they need to be the same width. So on my graph paper, I'm going to count 3 squares and make them all 3 squares. Okay, so I know that red, look how, see, it takes a while to do nice, neat, straight lines, you guys, but it's totally worth it because it'll make your bar graph beautiful. Now, for blue, there were 7 students. Do you see 7 on my scale anywhere? I don't either. But I'm a problem solver. I do know between 6 and 8 is a 7. So I'm going to go to that line there because that's right in between 6 and 8. So that's going to be 7. Make a nice straight line here. And nice straight line here for blue. Okay, there we go. And green had only 5 students. Again, on my scale, I don't have a 5, but I know in between 4 and 6 is 5. So right here, remember I'm going to skip 2 spaces just like I did over here, and my ruler down straight and draw my nice straight line. And if you don't have graph paper, it's okay. Do your very, very best. Okay, as long as it's nice and neat and straight, it's okay. All right, you need to be able to read your graph. That's the most important thing. It needs to be accurate and match up with the y-axis and the x-axis too. Okay, now for yellow, I had 9 students that thought yellow was the best color. So I'm gonna go all the way up to 9, which I know is right in between 8 and 10 because I'm a problem solver. Okay, yellow. Okay, see, it takes a little while to be nice and neat and organized, you guys, to be above and beyond. All right, now pink. Pink had 6 kids that thought it was the best color, okay? So I'm gonna follow 6 over to here where pink is and draw my bar. Okay, you're doing a great job. Remember, if you need to pause and catch up with me, you can. Okay, now that I have my bar graph all drawn out, I've created it. Now I'm going to label it, okay? So I'm gonna use my red marker to show the labels. Okay, first, oh, you know what we forgot to do? We forgot one big thing at the very top, which is our title, right? Okay, so if I took a survey of our class's favorite colors, do you think I could name it our class's favorite colors? Probably. Let's do that. Our class's favorite colors. Okay, so there's our title. So I'm going to label that first. This is the title. Okay, that's the title. Remember, we use keywords to help us tell what the graph is about. That's our title. Okay, and let's go over here. This is the y-axis right here. That's the y-axis. Okay, y-axis. These right here, these numbers represent the scale. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to put it right over here. Scale. And that is here, these numbers here. And I'm going to kind of go through like that so you can see that the scale is how your numbers are going up. Okay, so I counted by twos, and that's my scale. Okay, it shows the units used on the y-axis. That's the scale. Okay, labels. I labeled my scale as students, and then I labeled my categories as colors. Okay, so those are my labels, and that explains what kind of data that we used. Okay, now these right here, these colors are my categories. Okay, so I'm gonna write that down here. Can you see that? Nope, there we go. Categories, and that is yellow, pink, green. These are all the categories I used in my survey. Okay, categories, and red. Those are all the categories. Okay, last but not least, well, it's not last, second to last, x-axis. The x-axis is right here. This is the x-axis, this line. Okay, and then we have our bars. Don't forget that. These are bars for the bar graph, right? This is also a bar. These are also the bars. Okay, so now you can color your bars. All right, so I'm going to color my bars in, and you can color your bars in, and then we'll be all done, and it'll be easy to read. It'll be a nice, easy graph to read because you were nice and neat and you had nice straight lines. Okay, remember to take a picture of this anchor chart and put it on the next slide so your teachers can see. All right, guys? Have a wonderful day. Bye.